Hello there, and welcome back to some more Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Today we're continuing on Let's Play. This is episode 30. In today's episode we are taking a look at the vehicle missions here on the West Island. There are 3 of them total, and thankfully for us, 2 of them take place in the exact same place, here at the downtown test track. This can be found behind some buildings in the downtown area. On the map it just looks like a large useless grassy area, but if you actually come back here you find a fully fledged dirt test track, which is cool. Because unlike the beach track, which is destined only for remote controlled cars unless you take your own vehicles there, this one you actually drive around in proper vehicles. There are 2 vehicles to take around here, the Landstalker as we see here, and the Sanchez motorbike, which we'll get to in a second. And yeah, they're pretty fun. Now, the way these work is pretty similar to the way the boatyard missions work. There are actually more levels to this. Essentially there are 4 levels, and you get stuff like explosive barrels being put in the way to act as obstacles, security guards eventually will chase you around, stuff like that. We only need to complete 1 level of this for 100% completion, which we will do. If you do decide to do the other levels, then they do reward more cash each time, although in all honesty the amount of cash that you make off them is pretty nominal at this point in the game. If you are low on cash, you can do it, although again the top level only really provides you about $1,000, which isn't really worth your time. You'd be better off set just doing normal main missions or something of the sorts. But yeah, either way there's several levels if you like the feel of this, which I mean I respect if you do, because again these are pretty fun. They do challenge your precision skills, especially in the Landstalker, because the Landstalker is obviously the bigger vehicle. It is probably the most difficult vehicle mission on the West Island, although that's not really saying much because it's not even that difficult. It's just a case of making sure that the Landstalker doesn't fall over, which can be quite difficult given the terrain you're going over. Just take it nice and slow. There's no actual time limit in this. Essentially it's a time trial, so you're beating your own time each time, which again I mean you can do that if you like, but I'm not going for. I was more going for a safe run than a quick run, shall we say. But yeah, no, it's pretty fun, pretty straightforward. With the Landstalker, just complete 2 laps of the course, and yeah, there you go, 2 minutes and 19 seconds, $100. It's $100 for all of the vehicle missions here on the West Island. Once you've done it in the Landstalker, simply go ahead and get on the Sanchez for Trial by Dirt, where you have to go the opposite way around to the way you went round in the Landstalker. Now, you don't need me to tell you that the Sanchez is the much easier vehicle of the bunch, as you see that explosion in the background, because the Landstalker fell over on its own. Yeah, the Sanchez is much easier. The Sanchez, well, it's got no chance of falling over. It's a smaller vehicle, it's much more built and rugged when it comes to this terrain. Yeah, the Sanchez, it will probably be your preference to the Sanchez one. I kind of like the technical side of the Landstalker one, where you have to sort of watch out for it rolling, and also I prefer vehicles over motorbikes. But yeah, the vast majority of you will probably prefer the Sanchez mission. Once again, there are 4 levels to this. You'll get chased around by security guards, explosive barrels, so on and so forth, although we only have to complete the first level in order to advance on this one. Also, the Sanchez one is quicker, so if you are looking to milk these for money, then I would probably recommend going through the levels of the Sanchez time trial, because again, Sanchez is slightly quicker. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I believe you can fall off the motorbike and it'll give you a certain amount of time to get back in it, although there's not really any obstacle here that can make you fall off until you get to the higher levels, I guess, where the security guards might try to ram into you and stuff like that. But on this first level, if you fall off the motorbike, then you're doing something wrong. Although, as usual, it is a time trial, so you can fail this, you can take as long as you want to complete this, and you won't fail it, which is nice. So, yeah, and once again, your reward for completing this will be $100, which isn't a lot, but you do get a nice tick on that 100% completion sheet, which is what this is all about. So yeah, a pretty fun one. I quite like these little sort of dirt track ones, because, again, it's just sort of a fun little novel side activity. Next up, we move on to what I'm sure is one of your favourite type of missions. It's time for another remote control vehicle. This one can be found at the top fun van at the east entrance to the airport near this cargo terminal and the road to the keys, which you should remember from the package episodes. And this one tasks us with flying around the RC Raider to pick up 20 checkpoints scattered around the airport. Yeah, this one, unlike the previous RC missions, which have been the one with the race with the RC Bandit and the race with the Baron, you aren't in a race this time, you are on another time trial run, similar to the dirt track and so on. So it should be pretty straightforward. You can't really fail this unless you destroy the helicopter, which is pretty difficult to do unless you're being a complete idiot. The unfortunate part about this side mission takes forever. It's about a 5 or 6 minute run, depending on how good you are with the helicopter. The helicopter is very slow. A lot of these checkpoints are sort of in between buildings and require a little bit of precision flying. Yeah, it's not fun, it has to be said. It's pretty darn tedious, but I won't skip through any of this so you can see exactly what you're going to be doing in this side mission. Yeah, it's just kind of boring. I do recommend having something to do, whether that be a Discord call, a video to watch through, some music, something to keep your mind occupied while you do this, because it's long, it's tedious, and to be honest with you though, it's pretty straightforward. Out of all the RC missions, this one's actually probably my most favourite, because it doesn't really rely on you getting lucky with the AI and stuff. It's more just a case of flying around. Don't get me wrong, the Baron race is quicker, the Bandit race is quicker, but this is nowhere near as frustrating as the Bandit race, because the Bandit race can be truly awful if you don't get it right first time round. But yeah, no, this is pretty straightforward, just precision flying, picking up little checkpoints with the tiny little RC helicopter. I guess it's like PCJ Playground, but with no fun whatsoever in it. You do have to, once again, precision fly sort of in between these, I forgot what the name of these are, but like these little ramps that airports have. So you need to be precise with your flying, but it doesn't really matter all that much, I guess. As long as you don't roll the thing over, which you can do. If you tilt it too far forward, you might have seen me do that at the start. That only really happens at lower speed, so just be aware of doing that. This thing kind of flies like a mini VCN Maverick, so if you phone the VCN Maverick and found out that it's a little bit strange when it comes to its controls, this Bandit, or Raider, whatever it's called, has exactly the same thing. I'm trying to remember Goblin, that was the name of it in the Avery mission. I've got no idea why they have a difference between the Raider and the Goblin. I believe the Goblin is quicker of the two. It is also red instead of green like the Raider is, so yeah, there's something to bear in mind. That tower has no interior, which is weird. I don't know why they made that see-through. I wonder if you can actually shoot out the glass on that. That'd be an interesting thing to know. Of course, if this was a real airport, they would have shot this thing out the sky already, but apparently the people at Escobar International Airport don't particularly care about tiny remote control helicopters, which, let's be honest, is Vice City, could very easily have bombs attached to them. They don't care. I wonder if this is why Vice City's crime limit is so high. Thankfully, we're getting almost to the end of this, and by almost the end, I mean we've only just crossed the halfway mark. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's not quick, but if you just persevere, it's fine. You can't really fail. I get what they were trying to go for here. It was supposed to be like fun with precision flying. The problem is, none of these areas are like particularly hard to get into, so there's no real like skill involved, particularly with any of this, and it's not, again, it's pretty difficult to actually fail. I do prefer them doing this over having another RC race, I guess, but in all honesty, if this was me, I would have made it so the whole point of this is you are supposed to grab checkpoints in sort of fun positions, sort of going around the outer corner of the airport maybe, so you just essentially have to get all the way back to the staircase, and then that's the end of that. You do actually fly out the airport a little bit on these, fly up towards this stunt jump, which again, I showcased the stunt jumps in the, not the next episode, the episode after that, so you'll find out why I keep calling this a stunt jump. I should have really done the stunt jumps earlier, but never mind. There is a reason why they are so late through in this sort of side mission portion of the LP. which thankfully is almost over, so I can stop doing these pre-recorded things and actually move on to do proper missions, which I guess is nice, although I quite like doing these pre-recorded ones. Although not when it involves the RC Raider helicopter, which takes forever to fly around the fucking airport. Yeah, as you can see, it's essentially just a case of you fly the RC Raider one way, and then you're flying it slowly back towards your Top Fun van. Make sure you don't detonate it when you get close to the van, although I know it's tempting to end this misery. Yeah, just stay as far away from the circle button as possible so you don't end up blowing yourself up, and it shouldn't be too bad. I expect you to take about 5 minutes on this, maybe if you're a really bad pilot about 6 minutes, which I know how much people struggle with the remote control stuff, so maybe it will actually take you 6 minutes. But either way, there you go, $100. Was that worth it? Absolutely not. Anyways, that's all the vehicle missions done for the West Island. Join us next time because we aren't done with vehicles. We now look towards the stadium events, which are an interesting little thing that we'll get into in the next episode. So join us for that. Until then, farewell.
You know the fear, the sorrow that my heart holds in knowing just where my hopes and dreams are going. I won't let you be. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on the slit of your front.